Afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Trust everybody's doing well. Once again, welcome to our support call for the first Saturday of each month. Here we have our practitioner come in and share with us their journey and their experience, and then give us a thing or two lessons they've learned, so that way we can keep abreast. We do have a few questions and templates that we use to get the conversation going. This is all online via WebEx, so we're familiar. You're more than welcome to use the emoji to raise hands and the reactions. If you want to ask questions, that way we can have our practitioner answer those. There is also the chat feature. You can put your question in there. In that chat, there's also a Q&A panel that is there too as well. So that way we can get to those questions. And then one thing's for certain, after the session, we would be providing recordings. The recordings will be available. They will be shared in our channel. And then you should be able to, get the recording link and password so you can download it. We would also share our practitioners' contact so that way you can connect with them, via LinkedIn or via email, so that way, you can keep in touch. The whole network to continue to grow and continue to co-share and co-learn is really the key. We also have our session is called the Product Deep Dive. Here we have our practitioners come in and actually shared with us their journey, and also share on a particular product of interest. So things that they might be doing, working on that it's, of interest. And then a lot of times they give us a high level demo so that way we see it. That way we see it, because a lot of times, like we talk about, IT is not really only theory, right? IT is really about doing, the action. Getting to the platform, whether you have a sandbox or, whether you have a dummy environment where you actually go put the work. That way you can, be up and running with, the solution or what to expect. Then another thing for certain, if in case you missed it, a couple of days prior, there was the Tech Now. So Tech Now was held recently, where they provided the developer advocates provided a showcase for the Zurich ServiceNow's latest release, which is upcoming. So early availability is actually now. In case you missed it, there's a link to the recording, which you're able to actually click and then use. But ServiceNow will also provide that link also in the. They also provide the link also in the. They will also provide the link also in the. They will also provide the link in the ServiceNow YouTube channel. They're going to provide that once the time comes to as well. So just as an FYI, just as an FYI. So just don't remember that. Do remember that. And then we do have our practitioner Josephine here already. She will go ahead and kick us off. And then that way we can go ahead and begin. So Jojo, thank you for coming in and sharing your experience with us. We begin with a short high-level summary. So just an introduction of yourself, a bit about you, and then we can get to the other questions. Thank you.
Okay, sure. I'm Josie. I'm currently a ServiceNow business analyst, and I work from out of Michigan. I'm just happy to be here. Looking forward to the session and sharing
Awesome.
with you.
Yeah. Awesome. Right there, right to the point. That's the whole idea. We have the next question. No new questions in the chat. So what do you do outside of work to rest and recharge? Because like they say, all work and no play.
Of course. So I value quiet times when I'm not working. I actually love the library. I just love the quietness. There's something about the library space. So when I have time and I don't want to, just stay at home, I go to the library. It might not just be that. And when I'm out there, I could be doing anything, reading any book, doing my work, or just engaging with something else outside of ServiceNow, because I do other things apart from, my business analysis work. So I like to read, I like to journal. I'm also part of a mentoring group, and pouring into others spiritually it helps keep me, in perspective. I like to take a walk sometimes. Of course, I love traveling when I have the opportunity. I think it's the biggest thing on my plate. But just that quiet time outside of work, at the library or at home, or just hanging out with friends and family, that does it for me.
Good deal. Nothing beats that. Giving perspective, going outside, being able to engage, right? Engage with your faith, mentor others, give back. There's a lot to do, right? But because that way that's something bigger than yourself being out there. So grateful for that. I'm really loving it. The other question that we have is, how do you stay up to date with technology? I know you had alluded to, the library and then the mentoring group, but how do you stay up to date with technology trends? Yes.
Okay, so that is something that's ongoing. Like, I'm kind of intentional about setting, aside time for learning, because I'm at that phase in my career where I'm trying to pick up a few certifications, right? So I follow trusted sources like ServiceNow University, the community, and thought leaders on LinkedIn, of course. I also learn a lot, just by being curious and trying out new features, right? In the sub-prod instance, and joining working sessions like this one, our learning group outside of here. I'm always, I try to show up as much as possible. Tech is constantly evolving, right? So for me, it's less about mastering everything and more about staying teachable. So that's how I approach it generally, really. Yeah.
Good deal, good deal. That's the thing, being open to change, being adaptable, having that growth mindset. It's really key here. Like we talk about, there's no right or wrong answer. It's really understanding, and then what works for you, right? Everyone's journey is unique, or it's a set of experiences that we garner from what we do day in, day out, and then how that shapes us. So I'm loving it so far. So I don't see any questions in the chat, but the recommendations like ServiceNow community, the advocate blog, the doc site, now create all the host of resources that Josie talked about. There's a lot, and then the university itself, career journeys. There's a ton of resources available to you that you have no reason to. ServiceNow used to be Now Learning, but now it's ServiceNow University. It's called University of You, so it's more personalized, AI created stuff. But go in there. It's a lot of courses. They add new courses or content every day, and then keeping up with AI. They've been slowly ramping up AI since 2017 to about 2018, 2019. We got into that space, but even like right now. So AI is everywhere, right? Even on your phone, you've been using Hello Google, Hello Siri, Hello this, Hello, smart home, smart device, smart everything. But you have no reason not to experiment. So it's there for you. It's there for you. Now we'll pivot. The question here is, what is your view on training versus certification? What is your view on training versus certification? What is your view?
The one thing I can say about certifications is that they are useful in the service ecosystem. There's no shying away from that, right? Especially when you're looking to breaking or shift roles, they can give you structure and credibility and make you kind of stand out. So, but for me, real value comes from understanding how to apply what you've learned, right? So you're not going to be all hyped up with certifications and then you don't have any value coming to the table. So it's important that while you are getting those certifications, please also be intentional about learning how to solve real business problems with what you're learning. I think that's what sets you apart. So yes, get certified, but don't stop there. Get hands-on, however you want to do it. Internal projects, if you have opportunities to volunteer or learn, take trainings that you can get those practical experiences from, or however you want to do it, but use your personal dev instance, however, but learning by doing sticks longer. That you can get certified, but by all means, learn how to bring value with what you learn to solve business problems. So for me, it's not either or, I think they kind of go hand in hand at the end of the day. And because of the way ServiceNow trainings are structured, the certificates, I think it's really difficult for you to get certified and walk away blank because of the intensity of the program, how practical it is. You also in getting certified, you do as you learn because of the practical aspect of that training. So I think they kind of go hand in hand. So there's no like saying, oh, I have all that knowledge, I don't need certification. In the ecosystem, it gives you credibility. And I think it's something they go hand in hand. I won't say either or. I would rather say training and certification. So just five.
Good deal. Good deal. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. So that's the beauty.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both. You know what mix works for you. But
Yeah,
the truth is they go hand in hand. There's no way, even like you said, how the ServiceNow University or Now Learning is set up, the way it is. You have all the theory and then you have the simulation so that you are practicing it. That is really the whole essence of it. The certification is really important in the ecosystem now. You can't say you're in IT, you've been there for donkey years, and then right now you don't have certifications to show you're constantly learning or growing or evolving how IT has been evolving. Then you're not even able to get you a foot in the door. And then in the society, especially abroad, compared even in Nigeria, then you need to show, right? If you're an engineer, you need to show. So yes, you might not get a big degree, maybe engineering degree or computer science degree or information science degree or whatever. But the whole essence is that, whether it's a boot camp or the Now University or whatever area you go, or, LinkedIn Learning or whatever, there's so many areas like YouTube, Udemy, whatever. The certification kind of like affirms you and gives you that opportunity for your profile to get picked. And then that way you can get you a seat at the table so that you can engage. So those interviews, those conversations, then you land you a new job or transition to a new job, or or get promoted even within your own job. So it's all infused in there. But there is no way you can't just get a certification and then you come in there and you're not able to talk or and show. Maybe they give you an instance you cannot deliver. Then it's you're shooting yourself in the leg. So it's like that. And the beauty service now has done it so well that now even the Now Learning courses are for free until you are getting to certified. Then you now have to pay depending on the certification, like CSA CAD, which is the Certified System Administrator, and then the Certified Application Developer. Those are $300. Once you finish the course, the on-demand course, so the self-learning course, and most of these self-learning courses, if you're going to go take them, they come with simulations. So that way you're trying it out or practicalizing what you're learning, which is important. The thing is, if you're going to take them, you want to start out with the fundamentals first, which is the process, especially for a business analyst or process consultants or functional consultant. You want to start out from there first, right? Then if you want to talk about the implementer or the administrator or the architect, you want to make sure you do that implementation bit, because that way it's how to configure it or how to customize it, make that kind of changes on it. It's very important. But the implementer course and other certified implementation specialist course are $450 when you finish the on-demand training part of it. Just have that in mind, or bear that in mind while you're making those pivots or making those your training choices, if you will, or career growth choices. The other question is this. It's a piggy off of that one. So what is your take? Do you want to be a generalist? That way you know a bit of everything? Or do you want to be a specialist and be focused, be that subject matter expert on a particular product area? What would be your take?
Okay, from my experience, I would say start broad, right?
Good deal. Good
Then
deal.
specialize later on. So earlier on, I think it's being a generalist helps you understand how different pieces of service now and IT fit together. So you don't
Okay.
put yourself in too early. Maybe over time, as your interests and strengths now become clearer,
Good deal.
you kind of identify the areas that you have more interest in, you can go deeper into, then you can start thinking of specializing into whatever area it is that takes your fancy, But I would say just be careful not to box yourself in too early. Do you understand? Because that curiosity and flexibility, it will help your growth along the way. So be a generalist first, start broad, then taper down, when you're sure of your direction and what drives your interest. I would say. At least that's what I'm doing.
Perfect. Perfect. I mean, that's true. You it's about being in a job and putting food on the table. It's all about the paycheck, right? So initially you want to start out as a journalist, and then it depends on where you are in your career, like you talked about, not being able to box yourself in. So yeah, for sure, start out as a journalist, get as much platform knowledge, platform experience you have. If you're lucky enough to work for the consulting companies or consulting organizations, or if you're in service now, and then you're working for those partners, which is many a time consulting. Every 90 days you're implementing maybe not the same model, so not the same so maybe you're doing IT this time, maybe next time you're doing customer service, or you're doing employee or HR area, or you're doing SecOps, or you're doing CMDB. You would go the whole gambit. So that's the beauty there. You would be broad. You would really know stuff, but you're not deep. You know how to set it up. Seven has provided a ton of resources, like, to help you. You would know how to do stuff, but now you would now start to see the ones that really tickle you. Right,
Yes.
those areas that maybe align with you, like Josie said, like that align maybe with your background. Maybe you like to be a people person. Maybe you want to be in the HR space or customer experience space. Those areas that tickle you. Now you're already becoming mature, right? You're now saying, okay, I want to start to narrow down in this area. Then you start to even look at tailoring your certifications around there, because for you, that's where you're going to be focused. And you're staying in this thing, you're adaptable to change though, right? But you're staying there for the long haul. So it's not like maybe you pivot and then they tell you tomorrow, now SecOps is there, you run to It's a long game you're playing. It's a long game you're playing. There will be, like they say, there will be dry seasons, but you're playing the long game because you know that your time is coming, your moment is coming, your season is coming, and you want to be able to seize it. So at that point, you're a specialist in the sense that now your network will start to speak for you. Some people would have worked with you, or you would have delivered a couple of things. People are now searching out for you. They are looking for you. And a lot of times in the business, when we start to get to the fall season, many organizations are looking for top, like, specialist candidate. Like, they have to come out, like they are, like, it's like executive said, they're looking out for you at the point. I mean, at the beginning of the year, they can look for everybody, right? But once it's coming in, they need to make sure that you're coming to solve that problem. Like, it's a specific need. You're coming in, they're pulling you to come and do stuff. They're coming in to come and put stuff. But that's the thing. You have to be able to get as much experience as you can, because IT is all hands on. So go and soak up so much. Service now the same, like Josie talked about it. Your PDI is there, or in your company, maybe you're in the sandbox, depending on your role. Practice the things you're doing so that you become a master, especially as you start to continue to do them or evolve with them. Do we have any questions so far? Because I don't see any in the chat. Do we have anyone that wants to, have any question to ask? Yeah, Josie, do you have anyone? Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat. So I think the last question here is to round us up. So what would be your words of advice, right? For our members, right? That are trying to break into ServiceNow and into the IT space on how they can grow their career and then staying there for the long haul. So what would be your advice or like I said, lessons learned, on the road or tools of the trade, if you will, so that way they can keep that, right? And then reference that going forward.
Okay, first I'll say, come with your grit and tenacity because you're going to need it. If you're in for the long haul, definitely come with grit and tenacity. Start from there. Then I would say there's no time that you will, at no point, don't wait for the point where you get to and say you're ready. Start with what you have. Okay. Don't wait to feel ready. If you're new, start with the trainings that you need, but definitely get your hands wet immediately as soon as you have the opportunity, because that time will never come when you say, okay, you're ready. So start from where you are, come with your grit, come with tenacity. It's a highly competitive area. And so many times you will feel discouraged, but I mean, like, that's why I say you have to come bearing in mind that it's for the long haul. You have to be ready for anything. Do you understand? And then be teachable, be open to learning. While whatever you may have learned in the past will bring value to what you're doing. By the way, most of the time, if you look at what you were doing or what your former career path used to be, if you drill it down, you will find that, especially in the area of business analysis, you would already have been doing some things that you did not term business analysis at that time, but they're always useful skills that you can carry over. Do you understand? So build on those. Come with your grit, be tenacious, be learnable, be teachable, rather. Don't underestimate soft skills like listening, right? Active listening, communicating clearly, being reliable, just doing whatever you're doing and doing it very well. It will open doors for you, as well as your technical know-how, of course. That goes without saying. So, and you have to be encouraged, continually encourage yourself, because you will need it in this space. But I will also say that tech has room for many parts, so there's always space for you. So just come ready.
Good deal. Just like the scouts, always be ready. And then, like, there's so many parts, right? There's no one size fits all. You can be an analyst, right? Everybody's on the team. It takes all sorts to make a world. So you have both technical analysts, you have both process or functional analysts. So you have product owner, you have quality assurance there. There's the Scrum Master there. There's room for everything, right? Architect, there's room, right? There's room for business system administrator. There's room for, depends on how big the organization is. There's even room for training specialists or communication specialists. There's room for everything. But what really matters is you being there for the long haul, being open to, using the skills you already have. You're not throwing all of that away. You already have most of what you need. The only thing is now being the focus on maybe pivoting to IT or pivoting to service now, and then seeing how all of that translates. So, I mean, there's little or nothing than you coming with your A game, like being ready like the scout, right? Coming with your A game, coming with grit, coming with tenacity, determination, because there will be downtimes. Yeah. So Joey, I told you now, that's how the thing is. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. because sometimes you might be doing it like you're shooting the wall, but your day is coming. But you need to be ready to seize it. You won't be discouraged. Like I told someone one time, I'm like, if you're plowing at the farm, right? Somehow you get harvest. But if maybe you plow today and nothing is there, right? Tomorrow now, maybe the harvest is coming. You're discouraged. You don't come out that day. You don't get the harvest now. That's the thing. You didn't come out. It's like even if you're the best candidate and all that, and maybe you lost the one interview, you just go back into your thing and say, "This IT thing is not for me." Maybe you're the best person. Maybe it's the next break. You just need one more interview to get that job, and you don't show up. Nobody's going to pull you. You're your best cheerleader. You're your best or your worst critic too. But you need to be the one that will still push yourself. There's only so much a trainer too can share with you or give you, but you have to be the one. You make it it's your own mission now. That I would make sure this works. I will make sure this works. It's a lot of nuggets that Josie has packed for us today. We want to thank you for that. It's a lot, I know. And then thank you for making out that time to come share with us. It has been a pleasure to be a part of your journey and then to have you come share it here with us. Hey, if Joey can do it, I can do it. That should be your mantra. Because the truth is, only you can ginger yourself to go this thing. Only you. Only you. Do we have questions before we go? A couple of minutes. The video will be out. We'll share it in our channels, and then we'll share Josie's contacts too as well, so that you can connect with her via LinkedIn. You can connect with her via her email too as well. So hey, grow this network. Reach one. You need any support, reach out. We'll share as much as. If you're stuck anywhere, you can always contact me, or you can contact anyone within that community. The only thing is be mindful of their time. They might not be available in some areas, and then but also be able to do the groundwork first. So do your own part. And that's really about analysis. Like I said, Jojo said it, active intentional listening, communication, collaboration, those are soft skills. AI can't take that away, or computers or IT can't take that away. This is you. Being able to, it's like when you get a subject or a topic you do not know about, you start to, you have your computer, Google, or you have your phone, you're able to kind of like make sense of it, or you even ask a question to, and that's really the whole essence of that so-called prompt engineering. You're just trying to know how to ask questions better, or pose or a better craft, or create your question, and that's it. And then that's what really drives conversations or change, or brings innovation in the way to solve stuff. You're going to have to, or you're going to need that, when you go. That's just the truth there. You're going to need that. You're going to apply yourself. You're going to apply yourself. People are able to help you, but they want to see that you've done your own work. That's analysis, right? You've gone in there, you've searched Google or whatever, used all your resources, have done this and that. This is my outcomes. Then they will now be able to say, okay, they've seen you have done some work. Then it's just a matter of little hand holding, or they'll just show you what they need to show you, and then you get that aha moment. Nothing beats that. When you see somebody already making the effort, then it's easy to now say, okay, you now take this, or this is what you need. This is what exactly you need to do, or these are the steps. Something like that. It makes more sense. It makes more sense. Not like like they say, shoring your walk away, or to someone else. No, I've done this. I'm stuck here. Then it makes sense. They will now say, okay, this is what you need. That's it. That's it. Once again, thank you everyone for sharing your Saturday with us. Don't forget, the Pan-African IT community is there. There's the ServiceNow specific community also in Telegram. We'll share, our recordings there. Those are all the channels that we have. So you can get to expect, connect with Joey. And then, like I said, hey, you're stuck anywhere, share your learning. You need any help, reach out. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joey.